Josiah is going to take the tent bag off of the tent section. You need to make very sure that when you lay the tent section over to begin unrolling the tent section, that you do not allow anyone to pull the rope out from underneath the tent section like you see here. The weight of the tent section on the rope will cause friction on the tent if the rope is pulled out from underneath the tent, and it will actually burn a hole in the tent. Once you have all your tent sections safely untied, then you begin to roll them all out in a long line like you see Josiah and the other guys doing here. It makes no difference whether you have 2 sections or 4 or 5 sections. They still will all be rolled out in a long line end to end prior to the unfolding. Now you can see Mike and the other men there unfolding the first end section, one fold at a time, to prevent abrasion on the tent. Over and over they will unfold it until it's completely unfolded. In this case, since it's a 60 by 90 tent that they are installing, there are 3 sections, 2 end sections and 1 middle section. The first end section is already unfolded, and now the guys are unfolding the center section. After that, they will unfold the last end section. Then all the sections will be ready to start lacing together. Okay, now Josiah is going to explain to us how to lace the tent up.
What we're going to do is we're going to take... Make sure these rings are together?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is center right here. You're going to take your first rope on your lace side.
Okay.
Your first deal. Stick it through your first loop.
Okay.
First hole. Pull it through. Take your second one. Stick it through the second hole. Put it through the first one. Jerk.
Pinch it up?
Yeah. Pretty much do that the whole way down.
This sequence just continues over and over all the way from the center to the perimeter.
You've reached the end of the row.
Yes, sir. When you get here, you got a rope that's a little bit longer. It's the second one from the end. This one here is a little bit longer than the rest of them. This one, all you do is you take and put through this hole. You take this one, actually this one goes back through this one. And the only thing you do different here is this one goes through here, comes back the opposite way, pull it back. So basically all I did was took this one, did the same thing up to here, and instead of going like this like I usually would, see, like this, I'm going to go like this, back the opposite way. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around, pull it through like this, twice.
Like a
That's
little
it.
half hitch.
Yes, sir. And then you just snap, you have one more snap on the very end here. Just take it, snap it. That's it.
John, what's this flap here?
It's called a weather flap. And it covers your lace line to keep rain from getting through your lace line. It's just a piece of cloth, piece of material that goes over the top of it. And it ropes down and it keeps rain and everything out of that lace line.
Great.
The main thing is make sure it's snapped and tight properly.
Nice half.
The lace line rope should be tied off in a double knot like you see here. Hey Mike, why don't you show us how to string up the rope for the weather flap? Let's watch closely because this is important. What you do is you take the end of the weather flap rope and you go through the first ring on the large triangle like you see there, and then you go through the second ring on the triangle, and then through the flap, and then through the ring on the tent, and back through the ring on the flap. You just continue to zigzag all the way down to the end of the tent.
You get to the end, you want to make sure you pull all the slack out of the rope. Because you want all your slack at the bottom edge instead of the top edge. Because it'll make it easier. Once you get the tent, you got to go back and readjust these strings to pull tension on them. But you just tie it off on the edge, leaving enough slack. So that when the tent goes up,
temporarily.
yeah. So when the tent goes up, it doesn't. If you pull this real tight, it's going to pop every one of these rings off. So,
Not a good thing.
so you want to make sure you have enough slack, and that all the slack's on the edge and not at the center portion of the tent. And that's a weather flap.
Now it's time to stretch the tent out and try to get all the edges in the perimeter of the tent nice and straight so that we'll know exactly where to put the stake. This way we can get the stakes in the proper location and make sure that everything is nice and square.
The reason for having the tent, the webbing, the edge of the tent actually laying on top of the other tent section is you want the webbing in a straight line, because the center sections are actually longer in width. If you were to stretch it out flat, it would be longer in width than from corner to corner.
So that's why we flap the middle inch.
Right.
Before you can run a string line, you have to set your corner stakes. At each corner you will set 2 stakes 5 feet away from the corner of the tent. What the guys are doing here is they're driving round and round the tent, throwing out all of the stakes, getting ready to line the stakes up just before they actually start driving the stakes into the ground.
Line up the stakes in a straight line along the edge of the tent using a string line.
All right, so this is the Cobra Lifesaver. Okay, we're raising a corner. And this is the windward side, right? You always do the side facing the wind?
Actually, we're going to go around to the downwind side.
Okay.
We'll start with the windward corner, then we'll work the downwind side. And then the very last side that'll go up will be the windward side.
Okay.
Josiah, why don't you show us how to tie these ropes in a knot?
It's very simple, but you just go under, twist it like that, put that over that. See, then when you want to tighten it, all you got to do is push this through there, and it'll tighten.
Tying the ropes can be a little bit tricky, but it's just a simple double half hitch. First of all, you stand up all 4 corners, and then, as you've seen, you put all the side poles on all 4 sides of the perimeter, and you hook up each rope and tie the knot to the stake. Now, the idea is to keep the ropes real loose, just enough to hold the tent in place, but not too tight. The ropes need to be loose so that you have enough slack to insert the quarter poles and all of the center poles. Later on, you'll have time to come back and tighten the ropes.